Hey guys, my name's Dan, and today's reaction comes from Dead Meat. This is Mortal Kombat 2021 kill count. Now, this is one that kind of caught me a bit off guard. I think it caught a lot of people off guard with his decision to do this, but I'm also not really too surprised and really excited because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, have been my entire life. I love this movie, and I'm really excited to learn more about it as well because James always does such great research. From like the pre-production stuff to the behind-the-scenes stuff, everything I can learn about this and talk more about it, I am 100% all for. But before we get into it, though, I need to let you guys know, for those of you who are new, I put out reactions every single day. I react to a bit of everything, including much more from Dead Meat. So if you like what you see your day, you're bound to find more things that you enjoy. So please go right below this video. Let me know who your favorite Mortal Kombat character is. Click that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. All those things really helps out my channel. And then head on over to Dead Meat if you haven't already. I'll leave a link to that in the description. And without any further ado, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Mortal Kombat, the reboot released in 2021. I'm pumped to cover this movie because y'all know I'm an MK Ultra fan.
Hell yeah.
An Ultra fan of MK, not a fan of MK Ultra. I've played the game since an early age when they were somehow not as impossibly hard for me. No, fuck. Earlier this year, I covered the 90s movies, and while the first is fun enough, the second is an abomination. And neither are my particular style in terms of aesthetic or humor. Conversely, this modern adaptation is my shit. Listen, I know it's got a lot of problems. The structure's a mess, and the Arcana thing feels like an unnecessary over-explanation. Plus, spoiler alert, they never get to the tournament. Mortal Kombat's about a tournament. They spend the whole movie talking about a tournament. Tournament. And yet they never get to the goddamn tournament. It's dumb. But this movie's dumb in a way I really enjoy. It's aware of its campy source material, but still plays things seriously enough to have an impact. Who the fuck isn't about to cheer when Scorpion says, yeah! That's friggin' awesome.
Hell yeah.
Everyone who made this movie was a fan of the games and wanted to do them justice. Among them was Australian director Simon McQuoid, who kept things going during the 12-week shoot in and around Adelaide, South Australia. Ultimately, this feels like a setup to a Mortal Kombat movie series, and if you keep that in mind, it should help you have a good time. And I think it's still fun, even if you don't know any of the lore. For fans of the franchise, though, it's even better, thanks to tons of little inside jokes that I'll be pointing out during this episode. I know plenty of people shat on this movie, and that's fine. I mean, it's not great, but I had a blast watching it, and maybe you will too. And besides, y'all, just like the games, this thing is gory as fuck. 90s movies had bloodless kills owing to their PG-13 ratings. This movie almost got an NC-17, and I'll show you why. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins in Japan in 1617 at the compound of Hanzo Hasashi. Hanzo is a ninja of the Shirai Ryu clan, but he's also a family man and confirmed wife guy. Oh, that's nice. While he's out getting water, though, his compound is attacked. The first victim is cut down, or up, on the other side of this wall. Hanzo's wife and son hide their family's baby girl before they're found by Bi-Han, a Chinese ninja of a rival clan called the Lin Kuei. He is not only a mean man, he also has ice powers, because this is the original Sub-Zero, motherfuckers!
Yeah, yeah!
When Hanzo comes back, he's shocked to find a random ninja friend dead with a spear in his back. Actually, he's a bit more concerned with his wife and son's frozen bodies that he finds outside the compound, sitting there looking like a prize-winning ice sculpture. This leaves Hanzo understandably pissed, and he takes it out on the 4 Lin Kuei ninjas who attack him. He fucks them up real bad, and the movie doesn't hide from the gruesomeness of blade kills. By the way, this group of kills also includes 2 of Hanzo's men seen in the background. Hanzo grabs a kunai his wife had been using for gardening, and a long rope to fasten together his signature weapon.
Hell yeah!
That he uses to kill the next wave of ninjas. It's choreographed pretty clearly, which makes my job a whole lot easier. I counted 9 victims total during this attack, the last one getting clotheslined to the ground.
Oh yeah!
Hanzo finds Bi-Han, and though he doesn't speak his language, both of them are fully fluent in kick-assery. They have an awesome fight scene revolving around Hanzo's kunai, which makes its way into and across both of their bodies at various points. Bi-Han eventually overpowers his foe and sticks the spear tip into Hanzo's shoulder. He's so confident that it's enough to kill Hanzo that Bi-Han walks away like fuck it, looking like Jason in part 3. Hanzo's still alive enough enough to crawl past an extra body we didn't see before, but then he stretches out his arm and dies closer to his compound. Good thing he didn't make it inside. He might have burned the damn thing down with that fire magic. A thunder god named Raiden arrives, eyes all a-glowing, and finds the hidden heir of Hanzo Hasashi. It's time for that baby to take a lightning trip, and time for us to take a look at this title card.
Yeah.
The K. Some text spells out our situation. Earthrealm, that's us, is one fighting tournament away from being taken over by the violent dimension known as Outworld. But again, don't hold your breath waiting for the tournament. Right now, we need to introduce shit like Hanzo Hasashi's descendant Cole Young, a movie-only character played by Louis Tan, created to be an audience surrogate of sorts. I know lots of people, myself included, weren't thrilled about the inclusion of a non-game new character. There's only one of those, I'll stand. My boy Art Lean, rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
blame co-writer Greg Russo, a lifelong fan of the games. He said Cole Young was a studio demand that came straight from Warner Brothers. Cole's a cage fighter with a loving wife Allison and daughter Emily, but their love doesn't keep him from getting his ass kicked. He's always losing his bouts, despite Emily's solid advice.
Throw your uppercut!
The uppercut is a big damage move in the games, especially in the first few before combos were more of a thing. Cole is beaten bloody, but seems like he still has fans, like this handsome stranger.
Cole Young, the man that took the belt from Eddie Tobias.
That name is a reference to the men who made Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon and John Tobias, who were working at Midway Games in the early 90s. This is Jax and his giant arms, and he's very forward asking Cole about his dragon marking. He's had it since birth, and it was also seen on Hanzo during his fateful trip to the watering hole. Jax keeps an eye on Cole as he and his family go for ice cream. Oh, and check it. This ice cream place must have experiential marketing, because it's snowing all of a sudden. It's more than snowing, actually. It's a full-on deep freeze here. And look who it is making things frosty. Beyond the B-hole is back as Sub-Zero, howling hard and doming one dude in the head, which I'll say kills it. This ice attack is awesome, since it was done practically. The effects team experimented with the best materials that would look and break like real ice, then devoted a whole warehouse to making enough of it. Special
Very
effects
nice.
supervisor Peter Stubbs even built an ice gun to make the hail rain down. Jax
That's
rolls
dope.
up to save Cole and his family, and while driving them to safety, tells Cole what's going on. That scary blue ninja is hunting both of them down since they both have those dragon markings on their bodies.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Before he can explain too much, Sub-Zero blocks their path, so Jax tells Cole to go find a woman named Sonya Blade while he tries to take care of the Iceman. The fight between Jax and Sub-Zero is preceded by some Easter egg graffiti, the controller input to perform Sub-Zero's freeze attack. Subby shows up for a fight that gives us a look at Jax's muscles in action, but despite their impressive girth, he gets his ass kicked by Sub-Zero. I mean, the guy does have ice powers. It's nothing to be ashamed of, Jax. Subby uses his powers to force Jax into submission, then freezes him from hands to shoulders. With a painful shattering, Jax loses his Second Amendment rights. That's really gonna suck when you can't catch yourself during a fall. Damn, that looks painful. Subby, you mean. As we've seen, Bihan has been a bad guy for centuries, but nowadays he's working for the desolate, hostile Outworld. He's hunting down people with dragon markings on behalf of a sorcerer named Shang Tsung, played here by Chin Han, who has the unfortunate job of stepping into the massive shoes left by Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa. Shang Tsung wants to kill all of Earthrealm's potential
He was badass,
champions
Shang
before
Tsung.
the tournament can even begin. Don't worry, Shangy, you've got time. Cole drops off Emily and Allison somewhere safe and heads to Gary, Indiana to meet Sonya Blade. He gets to her shitty trailer and shows her a shitty marking, earning her trust and a dollop of backstory. Sonya and Jax served together in the US Special Forces, but lately they've been researching those dragon markings. On a mission years ago, they found a target with the marking who had superhuman abilities. When Jax killed the target, the marking transferred to his body. As best they can tell, the marking has to do with some kind of legendary inter-realm fighting tournament.
It's an invitation to fight for something known as Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat! And yeah,
Dun,
this
dun,
scene
dun.
is one big old exposition dump, but at least it includes Easter eggs for Mortal Kombat fans. Peep that picture of Nightwolf, one of my favorite characters, or that bust of Kotal Khan, the future former leader of Outworld. There may be more Easter eggs hidden here too. Sonya's wall of intel became a full-time job for the art department.
We knew that if the camera went across it, it would be freeze-framed and red. So everything had to be accurate and everything had to be right.
But enough of those cameos, let's get another character in the mix, the Australian criminal Kano.
Kano what? Kano, none of your fucking business.
No last name. Kano is a ruthless mercenary who works for the Black Dragon clan. Sonya's holding him captive because he has a dragon marking. Just like Jax, Kano's marking appeared after he killed someone else who had it.
You were never chosen.
Of course, neither was Sonya. She doesn't even have a marking. All of a sudden, they start getting an invisible beatdown thanks to a camouflaged foe. It steps on Kano's face and scars it with a nasty slash, then slinks around in the rafters, dripping acid from its mouth. This is Sizop, aka Reptile, an MK mainstay who's had invisibility since he was a hidden character in the first game. I love how they use a flare in this fight to keep track of him. Reptile's character evolved from a green palette swap ninja to being a member of the reptilian species known as Saurians. Since director Simon McQuoid wanted to draw from all of Mortal Kombat's lore, he made his movie's version both quadrupedal and bipedal. The 3-on-1 handicap match eventually ends when Kano punches into Reptile's chest and, screaming, removes his heart.
Kano wins. You fucking beauty.
Josh Lawson is so damn entertaining as Kano, and many of his lines were improvised. Not sure which ones though. Sonya wants to go to Raiden's temple, where champions train for Mortal Kombat, and Kano knows where it is since he used to run weapons there. He takes them there on a cargo plane that they have to parachute out of. Then they begin the long trek with Kano as their guide. He says he knows where they're going, but that dude lives in a house of lies. Since he's such a dick, it's a good thing they get additional help in the form of this Karate Kid. It's Liu frickin' Kang, and he's got frickin' fireballs.
Does that mean I'm gonna get superpowers at any point?
Liu Kang's a Shaolin monk from the Order of Light, another Earthrealm champion in the employment of Lord Raiden. He's played by Ludi Lin, previously a Power Ranger, and another fighting game character in an episode of Black Mirror. Liu leads them across the desert expanse until they arrive at Raiden's temple. Both of the previous Mortal Kombat films had awesome on-location shoots, and I'm glad this installment continues that tradition, now with more sweeping cinematography. Location supervisor Jacob McIntyre scouted epic landscapes throughout Australia. Sometimes they needed to modify things, like with Hanzo's lush Japan set compound. There, they added fake moss and greenery to Mount Crawford's pine forest an hour away from Adelaide. For Raiden's temple though, filmed at an empty opal mine called Cooper Pedy, they didn't have to do anything. Though it had never been filmed before, it was already screen ready. Liu's hand lantern and a secret door gains them entrance inside the temple, where murals depict previous tournaments, and give us more Easter eggs. One of them shows the realm named Adenia, and another Shao Kahn, the hammer-wielding emperor of Outworld. And yeah, Cole, that one's got your grandpappy in it.
Sure does.
Explains all those weird dreams you've been having lately. Besides the murals, which look really cool in real life, Raiden's temple includes other Easter eggs, such as the steel fans of Princess Katana and Shinnok's amulet, an important item in the game's storyline.
Very much
Kang
so.
Introduces everyone to Lightning Daddy Raiden, who says they're pretty shithouse champions, especially you, Kano. Raiden's played by Tadanobu Asano in a performance that I know disappointed a lot of people.
One more victory, and Outworld will gain control over Earth forever.
I think it's fine, but I was expecting more given Asano's electric performance in Ichi the Killer. I wonder if he just took this role because he's a fan of hats. It may not bristle me as much as Christopher Lambert's Weasley depiction, but I was hoping for more of the forcefulness we get from the video game version.
Our time has run out. I do what I must to save Earthrealm.
Raiden's worried about this scrappy band of misfits because Shang Tsung is a real son of a bitch. Not only does the sorcerer have Sub-Zero on his side, he's got this shorty with a monster mouth named Melina. Outworld may be a bit barren, but it's still dazzling thanks to them shooting at Lee Creek Coal Mine.
So
Director
good.
McQuoid hauled his cast and crew there 6 hours away from Adelaide, correctly thinking that the on-location shoot would add to the performances and epicness. Sub-Zero ice forces his way inside Raiden's temple. The baddies are here to wreck the place and give Shang Tsung some spiritual nom-noms.
Their souls are mine.
Dude eats souls. Raiden shows up and tells Shang Tsung to fuck off, please and thank you. They'll fight at the tournament and not before it, even if it doesn't happen in this movie. He puts up a lightning shield with his Power Ranger staff, and that's enough to push the plot back a little while longer. The newbies start training with Liu Kang and his cousin, professional hat thrower Kung Lao.
Descendant of the great Kung Lao.
Kung Lao's ancestor was shown in one of those murals, defeating Shang Tsung, which prevented an earlier Earthrealm takeover attempt. Liu and Kung Lao have unlocked their Arcanas, this movie's invention that explains why everyone has superpowers. They did so by training, aka leveling up, but it's not just about the grind. You also need a dragon marking equipped. So, sorry Sonya, no superpower for you.
Fucking whoops.
The marked boys get to fighting, which as always in this movie is a treat to watch. It's impressive how actor Max Huang matches the spinny fluid style of video game Kung Lao. He says it was
really
the Chinese martial arts style Wing Chun. Huang was a real-life fan of the games, as were many other cast and crew members. Jax's actor, Mehcad Brooks, said that as a kid, he was Scorpion for Halloween.
This is
Nice.
still a big deal to me.
I love that the actors cared about the franchise as much as writer Russo and director McQuoid. This doesn't feel like it was just another job for them. They seem to know the importance of portraying these characters properly for fans of the franchise. Melina's actor, Sissy Stringer, got a 2,000-word fan essay about her character's backstory so she could go into the role fully prepared. The
Okay.
training sequence includes a reference to a common playstyle in the original game, spamming the leg sweep.
The only move you know, mate.
Yeah.
Another game reference is mentioned while Liu Kang tells Cole Young his backstory. He mentions Bo Rai Cho, the man who trained him in Kung Lao, and who in the games early on was a guy who burped and farted a lot. It was
Yep.
dumb. Since she can't train with the marked boys, Sonya instead hangs out with Jax, who's being treated in the temple after Liu Kang found him alive but, you know, armless. Now he's rocking these mechanical limbs, which aren't exactly a one-to-one replacement for his previously bulging biceps.
Oh, those are great, mate. They make those in men's sizes?
Kano goes on a supper-time tirade of personal insults and mild racism, and that anger unlocks his Arcana, which blasts forth from his eye.
Ah, laser beam! It's better than fireballs, you pussy!
No matter how much they beat up Cole, though, the kid just can't find his power. Must be extra disappointing after he finds out he's the descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, a legendary warrior murdered by Sub-Zero. Since Cole won't shut up about how much he misses his family, Raiden opens a lightning portal and sends the guy home. Cheaper than ride shares, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Allison, you hugged that frugal husband. Here, let's meet some more Mortal Kombat characters. Freaking Cabal, one of my faves, and two
Yep.
characters I was unfamiliar with. Reiko and Natara, who Shang Tsung keeps saying is hot.
She is beautiful.
In every single way. There's also the still unseen Shokan warrior Prince Goro, who was earlier teased in one of those murals. Shang Tsung says they all about to beat up some Earthrealmers, and to get to them, they'll lean on Cabal's networking skills.
You see a guy down there? Complete fucking asshole. Answers to Kano.
Cabal knows Kano through the Black Dragon Syndicate, and in fact, Kano's the reason Cabal's all Darth Vaderized. Through a profanity-ridden back and forth, Cabal convinces Kano to join the bad guys.
Just name your price, then double it again. What are you waiting for, asshole?
Kano agrees and destroys Raiden's shield thingy with his laser eye, allowing Shang Tsung to hotbox the place with evil smoke that transports him and his henchpeople there. Fighting promptly ensues. Liu Kang goes up against Cabal's superhuman speed and hook weapons. Reiko takes his boom hammer to Jax and his rough draft arms, and the ladies square up, with Sonya having to defend herself against Melina's pair of sais. Melina gets the best of Sonya, and even gets a little bit kinky with it, but since Sonya's blood doesn't have that dragon marking spice to it, Melina says she's not worthy.
Your death has no worth.
Purple teleport away! Kano picks up the slack and puts Sonya down by laser beaming a giant hand onto her body, which is probably its own category on Pornhub. As Cabal gets the best of Liu Kang, Shang Tsung tells his hottie hot vampire girlfriend to fight Kung Lao.
Now destroy him, my beauty.
That doesn't go great for Natara. Kung Lao centers himself and revs up his chakram hat and rides Natara into it so she gets freaking buzzsawed. Yeah!
Fatality.
Victory.
Fuck yeah, it was, dude. That was sick. During all this fighting, Cole gets a home visit from Prince Goro, who for whatever reason comes out of his shed. This Goro looks pretty good for a giant CG beast, although I missed the clunky animatronic created by Tom Woodruff at ADI. It wasn't great, but I can't help thinking how good a modern-day practical Goro could look. Just think of Neil Scanlon's work in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and imagine a Goro of that caliber. Instead,
That'd
we get
be
a
great.
digital version, which was done with two dudes in blue screen suits, the back one on stilts, so they could choreograph a fight properly using the character's forearms. Props to VFX supervisor Chris Godfrey for all the solid CG. I did not realize that Jax's entire chest had blue screen effects going on. It looks great, much
It
better than
does.
his Annihilation bullshit. Allison
Agreed.
gets involved to help her man, turning Goro's attention to her and Emily, and you do not want that guy's attention. With his family in danger, Cole finally finds his Arcana. It's a suit of armor that comes out of a bracelet Emily had made for him earlier, and because of that, it looks like golden thread. It also looks bad, in my opinion. Kind
Yeah.
of cheap, perhaps a product of this movie's budget. $55 million isn't exactly an indie movie, but it's not a huge blockbuster budget either. I think every dollar wound up on the screen, but they might not have had enough to make all the costumes great. Regardless, costume designer Cappy Ireland put a lot of thought into all of the outfits. Shang Tsung is rocking ancient Chinese armor, for instance, with the souls he's stolen imprinted on it. I like that they changed Raiden's hat from straw to metal, and apparently on Cabal's costume, he's got a police badge from his buddy Stryker, another
Huh.
game character who hasn't yet made it to the big screen.
I even noticed
Cole's
that.
armor is part of his Arcana, which is also kind of lame. I guess it's a kinetic thing where he can absorb blows and turn them into strength or something. He uses this newfound advantage to go on the offense against Prince Goro, and he fares much better in the second round of their bout, especially with that uppercut. He even materializes a pair of golden tonfa, and with those he really lays into his four-armed foe. Well, four-armed and three-handed. With his tonfa, Cole delivers some gnarly slashes and stabs that finally puts the Prince of Shokan down. It sucks that we only got a few minutes of Goro, but at least he went out with some gore, yo. At Raiden's temple, Jax finds Sonya being crushed to death. The care he has for his comrade unlocks his Arcana, a pair of metal arms that look a lot more like his video game ones. It does beg the question though, what would his Arcana have been if he had never lost his arms? Man, the Arcana thing is dumb. Raiden begins a tactical retreat, but Kung Lao gets caught by Shang Tsung. Kung Lao is killed by Shang Tsung when the sorcerer sucks out his soul. In some circles, they call that a soul slurp. You know, like a turkey slurpee. Raiden teleports his champions to an inter-realm location called the Void. Even Cole, who takes a lightning portal from his front yard. Love you, fam, but bye. Gotta go get my inheritance. A garden spade from the White-Eyed Wizard Man. Cole says that they can beat the bad guys as long as they fight them on their terms. That means pairing everyone off at different locations. But how can they do that?
Lord Raiden, can you send anyone anywhere?
Oh, okay. That was easy. The fights take place simultaneously, but it's easier to go through them one by one. So, the first bout takes place in the Pit, an infamous Mortal Kombat stage that's been in many of the games. There, Jax fights Reiko and his hammer. The new and improved arms prove to make it a much more even match, and Jax ends things pretty quickly when he jumps and claps Reiko's skull into smithereens. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, these motherfuckers work.
The next fight is probably my favorite of this bunch, since it takes place in close quarters. Kano fights Sonya in her tiny trailer home, which she's outfitted with secret hatches and crawl spaces aplenty. I really like how confined all their attacks are here. Plus, they beat each other up using simple household items. You can make a BuzzFeed list out of that. The fight spills outside through the bathroom window, where Sonya ends things by stabbing Kano in the eye with a garden gnome. With that kill, the dragon marking passes from his body to hers. The Arcana is still a dumb thing, but I'm happy for you, Sonya. Next is Liu Kang facing off against Cabal in a rematch, like this were a Raw the night after a pay-per-view. Liu's more prepared for Cabal's speed this time and even hits him with a bicycle kick, one of the most satisfying moves to land in the game, partly because of the ridiculous sound effect. The kick traps Cabal in a pit of some sorts, and now Liu Kang is ready to murk him. He summons a giant fire dragon that swoops in and engulfs Cabal, getting things all sorts of toasty. Cabal falls to his knees, a crispy burnt boy. I love how much this death matches the game fatality too. Finally, we have Cole fighting Melina, who keeps up the purple teleportation.
Teleportation?
She ends up getting so mad that she screams the corners of her mouth open, showing us the extent of her sharp teeth and making her look more like her video game self. That's a problem for Cole, but thankfully for him, Sonya shows up with her new Arcana. It's her pink energy bracelets that she launches straight through Melina's torso. Wait, why did the ring sever her spinal cord? You know what? Fuck it. It's fine.
Doesn't
These
matter.
last two bouts were filmed at the Black Hill Granite Quarry, 2 hours outside of Adelaide. Keeping with McQuoid's desire to have as many things as practical as possible, the actors fought in front of real fire being piped in through copper fixtures. Cabal's death was a huge fire stunt performed by his physical actor, stuntman Daniel Nelson. Cabal's voice, on the other hand, was provided by Damon Harriman, the guy who played Charles Manson in both Mindhunter and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. With the other evil henchmen defeated, all that's left is Sub-Zero, who's such a horror villain, he's showing up in jump scares at Cole's family's safe house. He appears to the Earthrealm champions and indicates that he's been up to some daughter napping. That lures Cole to follow him solo straight into the Badlands. It's actually Cole's gym they wind up at, where his story began, but now it's covered in ice, courtesy of production designer Naaman Marshall. He built a dip tank to cover all the set pieces in their fake ice material, then painted more on for good measure.
Looks good.
It was so effective, the actors said they felt cold on set. With the fate of his frozen family at stake, Cole begins his fight against Bi-Han, who immediately neutralizes his tonfa and kicks his ass 7 ways to Sunday. The descendant of Hanzo Hasashi fights back and bleeds all over the Garden Spear, and that triggers a resurrection. Hanzo, who returns from the Netherrealm as Scorpion.
Get over here!
Thus begins what's probably the most kick-ass fight of this movie, the one-on-one battle between fan favorites Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Hell
this
yeah.
is such a better use of these characters than the 1995 film, where they were both brainless henchmen of Shang Tsung. These two have always had an intricate, bombastic relationship, and I love seeing it come to the big screen. Yes, Yes, you are. Their fight continues with frozen blood daggers and harpoons on chains as Cole tries desperately to thaw out his family. Oh shit, and Sub-Zero uses Ice Clone? That's another classic move. Fuck yeah, I love this movie.
Yes.
Boy, does Joe Taslim have a flair for the dramatic. Taslim, who plays Sub-Zero, was previously in The Raid. Co-actor Mikad Brooks watched it before shooting their fight scene, which he said might have been a mistake.
I gotta fight that dude?
Taslim moved so fast, he had to slow things down for the camera, a result of his 15 years on the Indonesian judo team. This was a treat for stunt coordinator Kyle Gardner and fight choreographer Chan Griffin.
You need to do the things that you always wanted to do in a movie and everyone tells you you can't do.
Griffin was excited to work with performers who could handle anything he threw at them, even when they were just shy of 60, like Scorpion's actor Hiroyuki Sanada. Some, like Sonya's actor Jessica McNamee, tried to do a lot of the fighting and stunts themselves. Others, like Josh Lawson, not so much.
My stunt double looks so much like me.
Damn.
I'm the first to go, step in, buddy. You look good. You look good. You look better than me, so go for it.
The holy grail was this final fight, though. Taslim and Louis Tan were so experienced they didn't use doubles, which Taslim said makes for better chemistry on screen.
When you fight someone and then they double the other guy, it feels like you fight two different persons.
It comes down to a 2-on-1 that sees the Chinese warrior start to lose ground. He rips off his blue armor, giving himself the all-black appearance of his future persona, Noob Saibot. Stay tuned for that evil motherfucker in any sequels. Bihan also drops the Sub-Zero mask as he makes his final stand for the Lin Kuei, but he's no match for 2 generations of Hanzos who get him to his knees. If you're gonna dress like a noob, you about to get treated like one, dude.
Yeah.
Scorpion uses his newfound Hellfire powers to light Sub-Zero ablaze with a giant blast from his mouth flamethrower. Just like that, Subby's turned into an ashen corpse. Now Scorpion has been freed, just like Cole's family, and he tells his descendant to please try to keep the bloodline going. Okay, back to hell. Raiden and the others show up, which, you know, maybe they could have done 15 minutes ago. Shang Tsung is still lurking around, but I told you, we ain't getting the tourney in this film. And don't worry about all your faves that got killed.
Death is only another portal.
With that, there's hope that we'll get more Kano and Goro in future films. Raiden sends Shang Tsung back to Outworld with a lightning blast and tells his champions that they need to prepare for that tournament. It'll happen, he swears. The movie ends with Cole headed to Hollywood to make contact with their top recruit, an action star by the name of Johnny Cage. Hopefully played by The Miz. How many kills did I just count with a K?
You'd be perfect.
Let's find out. Hey, Lord Raiden, that'll help get into the numbers? Oh, perfect. That guy can send anyone anywhere.
Fair enough.
I counted 31 kills in Mortal Kombat 2021. Only 3 of them were of women, while the 28 male victims included a lot of unnamed ninjas. Some frozen chunks in that pie chart though, so I don't think it's fit for consumption.
Probably
with a runtime of 110 minutes, that left us with a kill on average about every 3.5 minutes. Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill is tough, because there were a lot of awesome, but I'll give it to Natara. I think it's the kill most people will remember walking away.
Fair enough.
Dual Machete for lamest kill is gonna have to go to any of the nameless ninjas seen dead, having been killed off screen. Everything else was dope. And that's it. Mortal Kombat came out in 2021 and was the first movie I saw in theaters since Invisible Man in February 2020. That could also play into why I like it so much. Though I'm hoping for a sequel, nothing's been confirmed yet, so I'll keep crossing my fingers, and in the meantime, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
Hi kids, do you like violence? Want to see a killer clown do a whole bunch of gory shit? Then sit the fuck down and listen up.
Damn.
Stitches the Clown is ready for showtime.
Kombat show.
And he's got a bunch of tricks that'll blow your fucking mind.
Oh, look at that head.
This
Those
is
eyes.
Irish flick features a killer clown played by a British comedian.
Oh, funny bones.
Goodbye, funny bones.
The deaths are unbeatable and disgusting.
Ugh.
And Stitches evokes classic horror comedies like Evil Dead, meaning it's not afraid to get silly. And it's not afraid to get bloody.
Okay.
It's the best of both worlds, with a bunch of Irish accents mixed in.
Oh, it's funny, is it? Yeah, laugh it up, yeah.
So basically, this movie is fun as fucking hell to watch.
Everybody happy.
Take my word and check it out this weekend for yourself. And on
Okay.
Sunday, in just 2 days, you fucks.
You're an asshole, you big dumb clown.
Watch the
Damn.
Kill Count, only on Dead Meat.
Oh my God.
It can currently be watched on the pictured streaming
Oh, that looks hilarious. But back to Mortal Kombat, man. I don't know if... I'm sure you guys could probably tell just how much I love this. All the references, I absolutely just went crazy for. All the fight scenes were absolutely brilliant. The fatalities were so cool. And again, just the references one after another. And from a lifelong fan like me watching this, is like, oh my god, I recognize that. Oh my god, I recognize that. Just the amount of detail they went into that kind of made me forgive some of the other things that didn't really make too much sense. So that's going to do it for me here. But before I go, though, we'd like to give a huge shout out to all my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Marvin Espinosa, Cruising, Wolverine 310, Lauren Davenport, Kester Cronage, Amber K, Angel Garcia, Nicholas Sawtell, brand new Patreon supporter Daquan Johnson, and my lone channel member King Boo 336, PD909. I love you guys so very much. Regardless of why you decided to support me, I'm really happy that you did. And if you too like to have your name read at each and every one of my videos, plus many other fun goodies, maybe reacting to a past kill count or two, please head on over to patreon.com/GDNReactor. The link will be right there in the description, or you can head right below this video, click that join button there, or head right over my channel page and click that join button there. And with that being said, comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about this Mortal Kombat movie? Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, want to see past reactions I've done to other Dead Meat videos? Got a nice playlist right over there full of them for you. Share this video. Subscribe, yeah, subscribed already. Ring notification bell because I put new videos every single day. And I'll see you guys next time.